Hello and welcome to the fourth round of the Mercedes AMG Motorsport eRacing competition, the virtual racing competition from Mercedes-Benz in collaboration with Race Racing Experience, the racing game, the racing simulator I should say, for the PC, where the 17 best virtual racing drivers are challenging Daniel Kunkadea today at the Norris Ring in a 20-minute race. My name is Robert Wiesenmüller and I am joined by Peter Ritchie-Reichert.
Hello and welcome everybody at home sitting in front of your computers and watching the most exciting e-racing competition in the whole wide world. We are that self-confident to say that we have 18 wild riders here in the field and they are already in the middle of their qualifying session, and you will see the ranking on the left side, upper left side in the picture. Here at the Norris Ring. The Norris Ring is 2.3 kilometers long. This is our program now, so we are still in the warm-up. Then we have at 12:45, that's in about 3 minutes. We will have the qualifying session. This will take 10 minutes, and then we have a 20 minutes race here at this really very, very traditional racetrack at Nürnberg at the Norris Ring. 2.3 kilometers only long, the shortest track layout in the whole DTM calendar, round number 4, and you can see how tight it is. It's not, there are no run-off areas at all. It's all about walls and all about barriers here at the Norris Ring.
Yeah, certainly one of the most spectacular tracks on the DTM calendar. I will just show you the calendar here right now. So we already had Hockenheim, Lausitzring and the Hungaroring in this championship here. This time the Norris Ring, the most special circuit on the calendar for sure. And then you can see the upcoming dates.
The upcoming dates are the Moscow Raceway, Zandvoort, Nürburgring, Spielberg and Hockenheim, the finale where 6 of you will be joining us live and competing here on site. But we didn't even reach the half of the calendar of the season yet. Number 4, as we said, is Norris Ring, and this is a very special track. It's a bumpy one, it's short, that means they drive a lot of laps. It is really demanding on the brakes. It's always the changing between accelerating and braking all the time, and you always have to brake at the right point or be in front of a curve, and that is the secret of a good performance at the Norris Ring. We have a look at the overall standings after 3 rounds at Hockenheim, at Lausitzring, at Hungaroring. Julian Kunze, the German guy, is leading the field 9 points ahead of Jack Keithley, who was really impressive at the last race, Robert.
Yeah, he was. And I mean, if you are following the series, you've certainly watched the race at the Hungaroring. And Jack Keithley, he caused an incident with Kevin Siggy Rebanak, we see in the picture here. He actually took the win on the track, but he was penalized afterwards. And then at the last race, he completely turned it around and he just drove a flawless performance. Got a start-finish victory, and now he's back in the championship hunt.
And honestly, to me, he's one of the really hot irons in the fire. He's the favorite to me because the driving style he is practicing, this is really an impressive one. You will have Jack Keithley, the young man from Great Britain, with number 20 on his Mercedes ME car. He's the one to look especially after.
Yeah, one of the big favorites, but this guy here, Kevin Siggy Rebanak, he's also one of the favorites, for me at least, because he came very close to winning the race at the Lausitzring, and touches the wall there.
Yeah, this can happen. And if you don't hit it too hard, it's not something bad you do. If you have only a very mild hit, this will not destroy your lap time at all. But if you hit it heavily, more heavily, then now he did it. Kevin Siggy Rebanak, the Austrian, you have to be very careful. It's very quick that a suspension will be broken. Now we are already in the qualifying. You can have the watch up front, the clock running down on the upper left hand side, 9, minutes and 22 seconds from now on. So that means a lot of time, and even more time here because we already talked about it. The lap distance is only 2.3 kilometers. It's very short. So the lap time should be under 50 seconds.
Let's actually go on board here with Tim Heinemann, who's driving the car of Eduardo Mortara. And Tim Heinemann, the winner of the first race of the season at Hockenheim, he will take us around one lap of the track.
This is all straight and braking hard into the Grundigkehre, the first of only 4 corners on the whole track. Then accelerating again and braking here for the Schöller S, right and left. At the end of the second turn there's the wall coming really close to you. And then another straight part of the track heading into the Dutzendteich-Kurve, the last one, which takes you back to the start and finish line. Here you have to have a good traction in your car. You have to be on the throttle very early to get as much swing and as much speed possible onto the long straight, maybe in the shadow of an opponent, and then overtaking him just when you reach the corner.
First place right now for Florian Hassel, the German driver in the BWT Mercedes here. His best performance of the season so far, that's for sure. And we've actually got 3 of the BWT Mercedes in the top 3 at the moment. Hassel in front of Honzig, and Heinemann was in third, but just as I say this, Matthew Williams moves up into third position.
That's always the same. Just when you say it, the ranking changes. That's not only in e-racing competition, so it's even more so in real-life commentating. There's Matthew Williams, he's in third position, and now we follow Daniel Juncadella. He was just coming to me just before this broadcast started. Oh, Dani, you would never do that in real-life racing. And he says, "Oh, come on! I just did 5 laps. I have to practice so much. I'll be getting last." And I said to Danny, "Come on, you got so much experience. You've been sitting in those boxes half of your life. You should be performing better than 18th position." And he performed better, actually, Robert. He was our VIP driver at the first race in Hockenheim, and he was doing just a fine job there.
Yeah, out of all the VIP drivers that we had so far, Daniel Juncadella was by far the one who performed the best. He got an 11th place finish. Pascal Wehrlein and Maximilian Götz, they couldn't quite handle this, but Daniel Juncadella, he's certainly one of the guys who's playing racing experience at home from time to time as well. And he's certainly one of the guys who can mix it with the fastest virtual drivers. Speaking of the fastest virtual drivers, Jack Heatley.
There he is. As I said, my big favorite, Jack Heatley, because he's a really aggressive driver. He is, if he sees the smallest gap, he stinks into it. That's the one thing I like very much about Jack Heatley. He is really hard to his opponents, but also hard to himself. And talking about Daniel Juncadella again, Robert, I have to correct myself. He was our VIP driver at the second race at the Lausitzring. At the first race, it was Pascal Wehrlein.
Yeah, that's true. But Daniel Juncadella, he's the first returning VIP driver. And
thanks for saving me, Robert.
Yeah. So let's see here. Let's see how he does. At the moment, 18th position. So we've got 18 cars on the grid, a full grid today. Yeah, but 18th position, that also means, of course, it's the last position. He won't be happy with that for sure.
And it's a rather special grid because every time we play e-racing, it's 18 Mercedes. Imagine we would have 18 Mercedes here at the real DTM. That would be real big fun. But in real DTM, there are also 6 cars from Munich and 6 cars from Ingolstadt. I don't dare to speak out the names.
Yeah, well, we can say we've got the 18 most beautiful cars of the DTM on
That's
the grid
true.
here. That's
and
for
they
sure.
all look the same.
Just look at the car here from Nick Madsen, who's in 4th position now. And this is the guy who's been racing with us before, but this is also his best position. But just as I say this, there's a new pole sitter, Daniel Schön.
Daniel Schön, he's number 1 now in his Mercedes ME car. 47.298 is his lap time. That's the margin to beat for everybody else. At 47.2.
Look at the gap. Look at the gap to Williams.
The gap is really, really big. It's like
1,000.
Yeah, it's 1,000. No, it's not big. It's 1,000 only, right? Yeah, the writing here is very, very small for me. So I'm maybe, and my optician is also looking for a new profession at the moment. So I didn't recognize the gap at first. It's only 1,000. It's really as tight as it is in the real racing here at the Norris Ring, where we had the free practice a few hours ago, like 1 hour ago. And the gap from position number 1 to position number 18 was not even 7/10 of a second. Imagine this.
Yeah, and we can see almost the same thing here. It's just over 7/10 of a second. Now it is 7/10 of a second because Hunkadea moves up into 17th position.
Alexander Dornin standing in the pits.
Here he is on track actually.
Oh, no, there he is. But there was one car standing in the pits.
This must have been Hunkadea, who just went back to the pits after he improved his time.
Is he doing some setup work again?
That's possible, but let's actually have a look with him and see what he is doing. At the moment, there he's already coming back out of the pits. So, you can see him here at work. He's sitting at the Norris Ring in the Mercedes-Benz Hospitality. Yeah. So, pretty cool location to drive. All the other drivers are sitting at home and competing against him.
Just actually 20 meters away from me. He's doing everything he can. Maybe he just adjusted his car a little bit better to the track. That's possible for everybody. So setup work prior to this race, prior to this qualifying, and even in the qualifying, it's possible to change your parameters on the car. For example, the ride height is a very big topic here at the Norris Ring because the track is rather bumpy. In real life, it's more bumpy than we see it here, but it's really a tricky thing.
Let's actually see here in the cockpit, you can see the wheel shaking sometimes, and that's because of the bumps. And especially when you come out of the Schöller S here and you go onto this, pavement area here, it's super bumpy there. You can see the wheel shaking of Julian Kunsthoff, championship leader, who's only in 10th position at the moment.
But he seems to be improving because he has a green time in Sector 1. He was just the personal best. And now he is approaching the finish line. 47.298 is the time to beat. And Julian Kunze, he is moved up 2 positions. Now he's in 8th position. He won't be satisfied with that, but he's still got 1 minute and 36 seconds left to improve his situation. And unlike in real DTM racing, it's not when you cross the finish line you can do one flying lap again. When the time has run over, it's completely finished with the qualifying and the race will start.
That's true. So now most of these drivers are approaching their final lap actually. And we are here on board with Moritz Löhner, and it's a very special occasion for Moritz Löhner because he lives very close to Nürnberg, very close to the Norris Ring, and he actually decided to go later to the DTM race weekend, just so that he can participate in the virtual race.
That's very, very cool. So it's home turf for Moritz Löhner, and this home turf, it's not an advantage for him until now. He's only, in exclamation marks, in 9th position at the moment. Leading the pack is Jack Keithley again, ahead of Daniel Schön, and then Williams, the next Brit, in 3rd position.
And what a strong performance from Keithley, especially when you look where are his championship rivals. Kunze in 8th position, where's Sigi Lebanak? He's in 7th position.
7th position, yes.
Yeah, Heinemann in 10th position, so pretty good situation for Keithley here for the race.
And I'm sure he prays that it will stay like that the last 4 seconds. Still Keithley leading, and still his biggest rivals far away. Qualifying 0. Daniel Juncadella over the line a little bit too late. So that means we will find him, I think, in the last row now when we go to the start of the race.
Here you can see the results of the qualifying. Oh, and the game switches over immediately. So I will just run you through the top 2 drivers here. So it's Jack Keithley in 4th position and Daniel Schön is starting in the second position. And Daniel Schön, like I said, is not a driver who we've seen a lot of in the season. He's been racing here in the last 2 rounds, but he hasn't really made his mark yet. So it will be really interesting to see what he can do in the race.
Maybe he will have his first kilometers leading here after the start when he gets a better one than Jack Keithley. But we will see it just in 20 seconds. All the cars popping up now in the starting grid.
Yeah, you can see Jack Keithley, number 20, the silver car with the green-blue mirrors. Daniel Schön in the same livery, but with the number 2. And now the cars are getting ready for the start.
Here they stand waiting for the move, and the best move is by Jack Keithley. He is leading the pack. Daniel Schön already has to defend himself very heavily. He gets pressure from behind from a few cars.
Look at all these cars streaming into the first corner.
But rather disciplined, I have to say. There's not big fights and big accidents. And in the Grundigkehre is a very, very crucial point, especially in lap number 1.
On board here with Daniel Schön, and Hasse is going straight up the inside immediately on the first lap, and there's another car sneaking through, that's Williams. So Schön losing a lot of ground on the first lap already here.
Losing just 2 positions, and it might be even more because there are 5 cars in his diffuser, maybe trying to catch him just before the next corner.
Ooh, that's a close one.
That's a real close call.
Honzik on the inside just passes 2 cars at once. Here, and Schön is under all sorts of pressure. Honzik in the pink car on the outside. Oh, and Honzik gets tapped. Honzik is around.
He has a little bit of a problem with his orientation.
It was not Honzik actually, it was Heinemann.
Yeah, that's rather bitter for Heinemann, because he's still not in a too bad position in the championships, and now he has to run through the field. He's got a lot of hard work ahead of him.
Gets another tap from Löhn.
Yeah, Keithley is sailing smoothly ahead of all the rest. Already got a margin of more than 2 seconds.
No margins here. Honzik, Ivanov on the inside. And Kunze in the TV Spielfilm car at the background in the white car with the number 3. Going for a dive here. Side by side with Dorniden now. Look at all these battles.
And that's how it is at the Norris Ring. This is what makes this place so special.
Oh, Kunze sideways. And someone's losing it.
Come on.
I think that must have been Funkadea.
Yeah.
Who lost it. And let's see if Funkadea is still going. There we can see him. So
yeah, he's moving backwards now. He's now in last position.
Not a good start of the race for Daniel Funkadea. He made up a lot of positions, but now he lost them all again.
Yeah, the soul of a racing driver. Yeah, he will be now very angry and driving even harder now to catch up all the guys and to teach them a lesson. And I'm really curious, will he make it up from 18th position further up front, or... he was good at the Lausitz Ring, but until now he doesn't convince me that much.
Yeah, of course, it's always hard when you go into these races with very limited practice against all these people who've practiced for days online. So, yeah. Always a hard task, but he's a professional racing driver, of course. All the other guys are not professional racing drivers. I'm sure some of them want to become professional racing drivers, and this could be the first step.
And honestly, Robert, if I see the performance of Jack Keithley throughout the season, I would really like to see him in a real car, how he will perform. He might not make this too bad. I think he's really talented, and if he races with a real car like he does with an e-car, he might be one who might get a chance someday.
Yeah, of course, and I think that's the dream of all these drivers, because getting started in motorsports is really expensive, but getting started in the e-racing competition with Race Room, you can just do it for free. I mean, you need a computer and you need a steering wheel at home, but apart from that, I mean, it's not comparable with the costs. of
But
other games. We just have a small issue here with the...
yeah, with the feed.
Yeah, so I'm not sure what's happening here.
I can see on my feed, I have a side feed here where we just were looking outside of the car of Daniel Schön. And now the feed is back with Jack Keesley. And what I also wanted to say about him, look at his preciseness. He's really on spot in every turn, in every corner. He gets the braking points right. He gets a lot of speed out of the corners. And now his margin is even grown to more than 3 seconds. So that's a rather impressive performance of Jack Keesley until now.
Yeah, it is, but I think we have a problem with the stream here. We're not getting any picture updates from the race.
Yeah, and
So
on my second screen, there's also no update at the moment. This is Jack Keesley standing on the start and finish line, and I'm sure he's not standing at the moment.
well, that's true. So we will just go for a very short break, and hopefully we will be back with more e-racing action soon.
Okay, Robert is looking for the Gram.
So, hello again. We are back with the Mercedes AMG Motorsport eRacing competition, and unfortunately, we have a problem with the streaming. Unfortunately, we cannot reconnect to the race. So, unfortunately, our broadcast has to end prematurely here. I would like to thank you all for tuning in anyway, and sorry for everyone who waited for some more exciting racing action here. Yeah, sometimes this happens, unfortunately. It's the problems with the virtual racing competition, with people competing from all over the world. And sometimes problems can happen, and this was one of the days. So yeah, Jack Keithley was leading the race when we lost the connection. We will keep you up to date, and I hope we will see you back the next time when we stream. This time with the full race. So this was Robert Wiesenmüller and Peter Reichert, and yeah, apologies from us again. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do, so thank you for tuning in, and hopefully we'll see you next time.